Hi guys, this is Sliver here, and in this video I'm about to show you how to get a Mythic Unique or Resplendent Spark in Diablo 4 Season 5 every 2 hours, which 2 hours include the farming for the boss summoning material and the killing of the Tormented boss you're getting the Mythic Unique Item from. During the video I will provide a step-by-step guide how to do this method. But first, let me start with what is required. You need a strong main character that is able to run Helltide on World Tier 4 very efficiently, hopefully with a few stacks of Profane Mind Cages. This same character also has to be able to run Tier 7 Infernal hordes quite efficiently, at least. If he or she can run Tier 8, that's even better. In addition to that, you need to have at least one alt that is strong enough to survive in World Tier 4 Helltide. If you have multiple alts, then you can step up the process of acquiring the Mythic Uniques. And with that said, let's jump right into the action. The first thing you want to remember is that it is 9 PM in-game, so we're going to count the 2 hours from 9 PM. What you want to do is start at the top of the hour when the Helltide begins. Then you want to log on one of your alts, in this case Fiona Druid, and teleport to the location of the Helltide. So as you saw just now, I checked on the map where the Helltide is on the top of the hour, so I have 1 hour of Helltide, then teleported to the location of the Helltide. We have another alt, our Rogue, which we're going to do the same on. So again, on our Rogue, I logged in and teleported to the location of the Helltide. The reason we want to do this is that when we are inside the Helltide, the aberrant cinders that we get on our main are shared with the alts. So we will be able to farm aberrant cinders that we can spend with our alts and our main. And after both of our alts are located inside the Helltide, then we log on to our main, which is our sorcerer, and then once again find where the Helltide is, teleport to the Helltide, and start farming the Helltide. This is very important to understand because you will be opening the living steel chests on 3 characters. If you have one alt, then it's only 2 characters. In the intro, I mentioned the importance of Profane Mind Cages. If you have any Profane Mind Cages on you, then use them on your main, because this will dramatically increase the amount of aberrant cinders you get. If you don't have any Profane Mind Cages, then that's not a problem. You will get them from the Hellborn during the farming in Helltide. If you get a Profane Mind Cage during Helltide farming, then use it. You want to have as many stacks of Profane Mind Cages as you can handle. Of course, the maximum is 3. So now we're farming aberrant cinders on our main sorcerer, and we need these aberrant cinders in order to open living steel chests inside the Helltide. Altogether, we want to be able to open 6 living steel chests, 2 on each character, so 2 on the main sorcerer, 2 on the alt druid, and 2 on the alt rogue. In order to open all these chests, we need a little bit more than 1500 aberrant cinders, so it's obvious that the faster your main is able to farm the aberrant cinders, the quicker you finish this task. That's why it is a requirement for this method to have a good character, a strong character that is able to farm Helltide more efficiently. Please note that I just cut the video to the point where we have enough aberrant cinders, a little bit over 1500. Also notice that it is around 9:20 PM, so it took around 20 minutes for us to farm this many cinders. Next, we're going to look for the living steel chests on the map and open them. So first we're opening the living steel chest that gives us 5 living steel at the very least. So now we have 5 living steel with our sorcerer. It's a little bit lesser known fact that all Helltides are located in 2 zones at the same time, and there is a living steel chest in each of those zones. So this makes it possible that you can open 2 living steel chests with one character, because there is 1 living steel chest in each zone. So what we're doing now is moving to the other zone of the Helltide and trying to find the second living steel chest located in that zone. This way, we're able to open the second living steel chest with our sorcerer and bump up the number of living steel that we have from 5 to 10. After we have these 10 pieces of living steel, we're going to log out and then log in with our alts one by one. First, we're going to start with our rogue. You can notice that this rogue has a little bit of a lack of gear, and the reason for that is that I give the mythic uniques I have on my rogue to my druid. But I would say that this is a good thing to demonstrate that you don't need to have good gear on our alts to do this farm. They only have to be able to survive in tier 4 Helltides. The reason for that is that if you die in a Helltide, then you will lose half of your aberrant cinders, and we don't want to do that. So, as you can see, we keep our aberrant cinders that we farmed on the sorcerer, and with our rogue, we're going to open the same 2 living steel chests in the same Helltide, and once we did that, we're going to bump up our living steel number from 10 to 20. So now we have 20 living steel, and after that we still have enough aberrant cinders to log on to our druid and do the same thing. Again, you can see that this druid is 80 something level. This also indicates that you don't need to have high-end gear to do this farm. Also, you don't even require a second alt for this farm. You can just run around with your main and open regular chests. Each regular chest in the Helltide contains 1 living steel, and you can get the extra 10 living steel that we are going to collect with the druid with your main. Obviously, this takes a little bit of extra time, however, it's not so bad. So what we're doing now with our druid is once again using the cinders that we farmed on our main to open the 2 living steel chests in the 2 zones that are affected by the Helltide. It is currently 9:29 p.m, so I would say we're doing good. It will take us a little bit more than 30 minutes to farm a total of 30 living steel. And we will need the remaining time until the next Helltime begins to farm Stygian stones. Experienced Diablo 4 players might have already deduced that the plan is to summon and kill Grigoire, Tormented Grigoire more specifically, 3 times. And for that we need 45 living steel and 3 Stygian stones. So in this first Helltide, we farmed 30 living steel, and we're still missing 15 living steel, which we're going to get in the next Helltide, plus we're missing 3 Stygian stones. To get those 3 Stygian stones, we're going to run the Infernal hordes, more specifically the level 7 Infernal hordes, and we are going to hope that 1 run is enough. If your main character is strong enough, you can just run the tier 8 Infernal hordes, or if you are not lucky enough to get 3 Stygian stones in 1 run, then you can do 2 runs. You can see that it's only 9:33, which means that we're only 33 minutes into the challenge, which means that we have almost 30 minutes until the next Helltide begins, and we have enough time to complete 2 tier 7 Infernal horde runs if we don't get lucky enough to get the 3 Stygian stones that we require to summon Grigor 3 times. I'm going to cut the video here to save time and skip most of the Infernal Hordes run. And by the way, if you follow the channel, then you know that I've done a deep analysis of the drop rate of Stygian stones from tier 7 and tier 8 Infernal Hordes, and the results were the following. In tier 7, you can expect to get 1 Stygian stone for every 227 ether used, and on tier 8, you can expect 1 Stygian stone for every 114 ether that is used. Of course, this is an average, but in general, you can expect 3 Stygian stones, the amount that we need in this case, for around 750 ether in tier 7 and around 400 ether in tier 8. In this video, we apparently get very lucky because we have around 600 ether and we do get the 3 Stygian stones that we need. It would not be a problem if we didn't get the Stygian stones, because then we would have to simply run this tier 7 Infernal Hordes run again, and it would be extremely likely to get a total of 3 Stygian stones in that case. So once you were lucky enough to get the 3 Stygian stones, now let's take a look at our progress. We are close to the Helltide starting, but we have a total of 30 living still, and we also have the 3 Stygian stones that we require. So all is left is getting at least 15 living still so that we can summon Tormented Grigor 3 times. Unfortunately, the best way for that is to wait. We're going to wait for the next Helltide to begin. For that, I logged on one of my alts, in this case the Rogue, and then we're going to wait until the top of the hour when the Helltide begins, and then we're going to check the map and teleport to the place where the Helltide is happening. Again, this is to make sure that the aberrant cinders that we're about to farm with our main are transferred to our rogue. In this round, we don't need to use our druid because we only need 15 more living steel, and we can get that easily with 2 characters. I think I'm even getting 20 living steel because it's just so easy to farm aberrant cinders with our sorcerer. So now we logged on to our sorcerer, went to the location of the Helltide, and once again started farming aberrant cinders. Once again, if you have profane mind cages, use them, and this will maximize the aberrant cinders that you get. I'm going to cut the footage once again to save time, and as you can see, we've collected enough aberrant cinders to open 3, possibly 4 living steel chests. This costs around 800 and possibly 1100 aberrant cinders, and we've already collected the contents of the next living steel chest for our main, so now we're going to move down to the next zone of the Helltide to collect the contents of the living steel chest there. So currently we have a total of 30 living steel, and we're going to pick up the next 5 living steel from the living steel chest. Now we're going to hop onto our rogue and use the remaining aberrant cinders that we farmed on our sorcerer in order to open 2 more living steel chests, which will bring us up to 50 living steel. Of course, we only need 45 to summon Grigor 3 times. A quick time check reveals that it is 10:19 p.m., which means we have around 40 minutes to collect these living steel pieces, then find a group to do a rotation of Tormented Grigoire and then kill Tormented Grigoire 12 times to have chances for Mythic Unique items. Now, I'm going to cut the part of the video when I'm looking for a group. I looked for a group on the Sanctuary Discord channel, but you can look for rotations in other forums, such as the Moxrule forums or inside the in-game chat. I'm going to cut this because I don't want to show any player's battle tag. Unfortunately, the looking for group feature cannot come fast enough into the game, but let me assure you, this is not a pre-made group that was just waiting for me to start the Grigoire runs. I didn't talk to these guys before, and I didn't set up the group so the 2 hours deadline can be met. Another quick time check reveals that we have around 30 minutes to kill Tormented Grigoire 12 times. Now let's talk about drop chances a little bit, because I know that commenters will have some problems with this. Of course, you are not guaranteed to get a Mythic Unique from this run. However, we are going to kill Tormented Grigoire 12 times. The drop chance of a Mythic Unique from one kill of any Tormented boss is around 7.5%. This means that if you kill this boss 12 times, then altogether you have more than a 60% chance to have one or more Mythic Uniques after those 12 runs. And no, it is not 12 times 7.5%, because then it would be way higher. This around 60% is calculated based on the fact that each time you have a 7.5% chance of dropping the Mythic Unique. So altogether, you are more likely than not going to get a Mythic Unique item from this farm. More on that later. So we are farming Tormented Grigoire. I cut the footage once again to save time, and this is our first attempt at Tormented Grigoire, and it seems that the first attempt didn't succeed in the Mythic Unique farm. However, we still have 11 left. This is going to be our second attempt, and it seems that on this second attempt, Mythic Unique did drop, and this Mythic Unique is a Doombringer. So we already got our Mythic Unique, in this case a Doombringer, so I would say that the challenge is already completed. I've also included some remaining runs of the kills of Tormented Grigoire. This is the third kill where no Mythic Unique is dropped. This is the fourth kill of Tormented Grigoire, where once again no Mythic Unique is dropped. And this will be the fifth kill of Tormented Grigoire, where once again a Mythic Unique is dropped, and in this case the Mythic Unique is Andaria's Visage. Now let me say that I didn't do this challenge multiple times over and over, and I didn't cut the best result into the YouTube video. This was my first attempt at this challenge of getting Mythic Uniques under 2 hours, and this was the genuine result. And at the end, we're going to destroy both of these Mythic Uniques because I already have them, and we get 2 Resplendent Spark as a result. Now, I know that there will be commenters who will say that this is a scam. It is not. I know that this is not a guaranteed chance to get a Mythic Unique under 2 hours. However, you are more likely to get one than not. And as you can see from the video, it works. So please, if you learned something from this video, maybe the method, maybe the farming of living still, then give a like to the video. It really helps me out a lot. and consider subscribing. And until the next video, thank you very much for watching. I was Sliver. See you next time.